log on.
That's okay. It's okay. It goes back and forth.
Oh,
Just start with the board.
okay. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone is having a good Sunday so far. So today's class is one that a lot of people have been mentioning or asking me about, as during this time, a lot of you are working from home. So you're probably sitting in chairs that you're not used to sitting in, and working at maybe desks or maybe even on your couch, something that's a little bit different than what you're used to from your office. Or some of you are still going to the office, and again, sitting a lot. And again, right now we're forced to be a little bit more sedentary than normal. So this can definitely have effect on not just our muscularity, sense of stiffness, but also our respiratory system. So this class is going to be what I call relief for the desk worker. Now, even if you don't sit at a desk, or aren't even working from home, but are just sitting more than normal, this is a class that everybody could benefit from, even if you're not a desk worker. So let me kind of get into the whole process of the class, and then we're just going to get right into it. Let's talk about props first. So you're going to need 2 of your blocks or books and 1 towel for today. So here we go. So relief for the desk workers. So what we're going to talk about in today's class is we're going to start with some techniques that are really helpful for increasing energy, as well as relieving eye strain that can lead to headaches from staring at screens for a long period of time. One thing that a lot of us tend to do when we're in a place of deep focus or deep concentration, we tend to subconsciously hold our breath. We don't know we're doing that. And that might be a little bit of a piece of maybe mindful homework for you guys to practice throughout today. Notice how many times you're actually subconsciously holding your breath. And this can cause your energy levels to completely plummet, as there's a lack of oxygenation to the brain. So we're going to talk about some breathing techniques in the beginning of today's class that you can do when you're at your desk. Take a little 3-minute break just to practice these breathing techniques, and it can really help to boost energy, decrease the effects of eye strain, as well as headaches. We're going to do some movements that are going to combat slouching, and we're going to also relieve some spinal compression. So that's what we are going to do for this desk workers class today. So 2 blocks, towel, and then we are going to get started. So we're going to start in a seated position today. So I like to elevate myself on something. It just feels a little bit better for my spine, but you can feel free to sit flat or maybe even prop yourself up on a pillow or one of your blocks if you have it. So what we're going to start with today is we're going to start with a breathing technique that is going to help with oxygenation. So this is going to help increase the oxygen that's being sent to your brain, but also throughout your nervous system, so along your spinal column. So this breathing technique can actually help to alleviate some muscular stiffness that can come from sitting for long periods. So this technique is going to be inhaling in through your nose, but exhaling through your mouth as if you have sort of a skinny straw in your mouth. And you're trying to just allow that long exhale to move through the entire straw. So we're trying to dissipate all of the sort of CO2 or carbon dioxide that's in the body that can really help with energy. So first thing I want you to do, grab your hands and wrap them around your rib cage. So your rib cage is quite high. It sits above kind of the smallest part of your waist, so right above there. And some of you will actually feel your rib cage and some of you won't. Don't worry about that. So let's do the first 2 breaths really slow together, and then we'll kind of work our way from there. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to inhale through your nose, but try to allow the breath to move deep into where your hands sit. So I'm going to inhale here, and then I'm going to exhale through that straw. Inhale into the hands. Exhale, straw. Now, as you noticed, when I inhale, my hands actually moved away from the center of my body. So I'm actually expanding my rib cage, which means that I'm actually filling up my diaphragm. And then as I exhale, everything comes back as the diaphragm kind of moves back up towards its central position. So we're going to take a few of these, and this is that breathing technique that I definitely encourage you to do to help increase energy throughout the day and also to help alleviate headaches and eye strain. So let's go ahead and take about 8 of these. So go ahead and place your hands there, and we'll just do this together. And I want you to really, really think about allowing your exhale to empty completely. So here we go. Inhale, nose. Exhale. Inhale, nose. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Fantastic. All right. Now we're going to do a little bit of a warming technique for the eyes, again, just to combat any eye strain or to alleviate any stiffness that can accumulate from looking forward for an excessive period of time. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your hands and you're going to rub them together. And as you rub them together, you're going to create a little bit of friction and you're going to create a little bit of heat. So you're going to do that for about 10 to 15 seconds. And then with your eyes closed, you're actually going to place your hands over your eyes. So probably maybe about an inch away from your eyes. And I want you to just take a few inhales in and out through your nose here and just start to focus on the warmth of your hands moving towards your eyes. So just inhaling in through the nose and out through the nose. And then go ahead and try that again. Just warming up your hands. You can do about 3 or 4 of these throughout your sort of working day, staring at your computer, staring at your screen, staring at your phone, whatever that might be. Place the hands over the eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more for good luck. Again, create that nice little friction there. Really, really create some heat in the hands and just start to focus on the warmth of the hands. Just warming and calming and soothing those tired eyes. So last time, place the hands over the eyes. Great. All right. Last breathing technique that we're going to do here. This is a really, really good one if you experience headaches or fatigue from staring at a screen for long periods of time. So we're going to work with what's called the vestibular system, which is your balance system. And oftentimes when our neck muscles get tight, our vestibular system can get off, where this can increase headaches and increase pressure inside the head. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your first and your second finger and you're just going to find the bones behind the back of your ears. And you're gonna feel some bones there. And I'd like you to walk your fingers about maybe 1 or 2 steps down from that. And then as you push into the side of your neck, you're gonna feel something very spongy. It's gonna feel like a little spongy muscle. And that's gonna be sort of where the key to finding the vestibular system is. So if you're still on bone, you gotta work your fingers a little further down. Now, all we're gonna do for about 3 breaths is we're gonna push into that spongy tissue, creating a little bit of pressure. And as we're doing that, we're going to inhale through our nose and exhale through that straw again. And we're going to try 3 breaths of that, okay? So go ahead and find that spongy tissue. And with a little bit of pressure, go ahead and push in. Now, as you push in, inhale through your nose. Exhale through your straw. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your straw. Keep applying the pressure. One more here. Inhale, nose. Exhale, straw. Good. And then go ahead and release your hands. Now, some of you might felt a little bit of lightheadedness while you did that. That's probably an indication that there's a lot of restriction and tightness in your neck muscles, which can be causing some headaches or fatigue or eye strain. So try one more set of that. So find the bones, crawl your fingers down, find the little cushiony, little spongy, tissues and ligaments in there. Go ahead and push in. Let's add the breath. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. Keep applying the pressure. Inhale. Exhale. One more there. Inhale. Exhale. Fantastic. All right. So there's your 3 little exercises to help combat fatigue, eye strain, and help to increase the effectiveness of your respirations. Okay, let's pop up on our back. So when you're on your back, you might need something to support your head, but you're going to need your towel nearby. So go ahead and prop down on your back. All right, we're going to come to our standard position of constructive rest, where our knees are bent and the soles of the feet are flat on the floor. All right, arms away from the body, not touching the body. First thing I'd like you to do, bring your right knee in towards your chest, flex your ankle. Now think about from the hip crease that you're working to pull that leg in, okay? Now all we're gonna do is we're gonna create a nice big circle. So I'm gonna take my right leg and I'm gonna circle it over towards the right. Keeping the knee bent, I want to circle sort of down towards the bottom of my mat. Then I want to pull that right knee up towards that left knee, so I'm taking the circle inward, and then I want to return back to the starting position. So let's try that again. Circle out to the right, down towards the bottom of the mat, up towards the left knee, back towards the chest. I'm just trying to provide some blood to the tight, cranky hip muscles from sitting. So go again. Out, down, in, back forward. 2 more from here to the right, to the bottom of the mat, to the left knee, up towards the chest. 1 more, we're going to hold there. Take it out to the right, big circle. Try to keep the torso nice and steady. Think that the thigh bone is just going. And then come back to the chest. And I want you to hold there. All right, so we're gonna work to alleviate some tension in the hip flexors. So work to keep that right knee into the chest, flex your left ankle so your left heel is on the floor. And I want you to create a little bit of pressure in your abdominals. So I want you to think about dropping the front of your rib cage to the back of your rib cage and your belly button towards your lower back spine, and create that little bit of tension in the abdominals as you start to work to slide that left leg out straight on the floor. Now, depending on how tight your hip muscles are, some of you might have a little bend in that left knee. That leg just won't go straight because your hips are yanking on it. Don't worry about that. For some of you, you'll be able to bring it right to the floor, okay? Not right, not wrong, okay? I want you to think of reaching your legs in opposite directions. So pull the right leg towards you as you reach the left leg away from you, almost as if you're loading kind of like a bow and arrow. I want you to hold that. Now, letting that rib cage drop again, I want you to slide that left leg right back up to the starting position. Okay? And again, drop that rib cage, drop the belly button, slide that leg out straight. Okay? And then really think of reaching the legs in opposite directions. Okay, we're going to do one more like that. Drop the rib cage, slide that leg up. Good, keep the ankle flexed. Last time here, drop the rib cage and slide that leg out. Trying to keep tension in the abdominals the entire time. Now really think of reaching those legs in opposite directions, and then go ahead and slide that leg back up. Put the foot flat, put the right foot flat. Very good job. All right, so let's do everything on the left side. So we're gonna start with our circles. So pull that left knee in towards the chest, but then really kind of pull it into what your range of motion will allow. Let's take that big circle to the left. So I'm gonna open to the left, down towards the bottom of my mat, up towards my right knee, and then back to, not really my chest, more towards my shoulder. Let's try again. So big circle. You might hear some clicks and some cracks as you're doing this. It's completely normal. Knee up to right knee, and then knee to chest. Again, big circle to the left, down towards the bottom of the mat, up towards the right knee, back to the body. Two more big circles. Keep that ankle nice and flat, and let your torso stay nice and steady and strong. We're just working from the hip joint here. So the thigh bone is just moving around and around. One more big circle. Good. Knee back into chest. Pull it in. Great job. Okay, now we're going to flex that right foot now. So the heel's on the floor. We're going to drop the front rib cage. We're going to drop the belly, and we're going to control the leg as we slide. Okay, we're trying to also relieve a little bit of spinal compression here. Again, depending on how tight the hip flexors are, your leg might not go completely flat. Don't worry about that. Good. Now think of reaching your legs in opposite directions. And then as you drop the rib cage, go ahead and slide that leg back up. Good. Again, drop the ribs, drop the belly button so we're not in a big lower back arch. Go ahead and slide that leg out straight. Reach those legs in opposite directions. And then go ahead and slide it back up. One more here. Drop the rib cage, drop the belly button. Go ahead and slide that leg out straight. Reach the legs in opposite directions. And then go ahead and slide back up. Beautiful. And then put both feet back on the floor. Very good. Okay. So now we're going to work with the pelvis. So we're going to take the pelvis and we're going to move it forward and backwards. What can happen when you sit for long periods is oftentimes your pelvis gets stuck in one place for an extended period of time, which will either tighten the hips in the front or compress the musculature and the discs in the low back. So we want the pelvis to move. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your first and your second finger and you're going to find your hip bones in the front. Okay? So it's two little bony protrusions that stick out. Some of you, it'll be hard to find. Some of you, it'll be quite easy to find. Don't worry if you don't find them today. Don't worry about that. So this would be kind of like the front of our pelvis. Now, all I want to do is I want to tip these hip bones down towards the bottom of my mat. And as I do that, what happens is my lower back starts to arch up away from the floor. So I'm tilting that pelvis forward. Now, as I pull those hip bones up towards my chest now I scoop the butt underneath me, and now my lower back is completely flat against the floor. Okay, so let's try one more slow like that. So I'm going to tip those hip bones down towards my feet. Good, and now I've got that big arch through the low mid-back. Then I'm going to pull those hip bones up towards my chest and scoop my butt underneath me. Okay, so I'm doing forward and backwards tilts. So let's just go back and forth. So forward tilt, I'm going to arch. Backward tilt, I'm going to scoop. And just keep going. And I want you to think that just that lower back is going. And for some of you, you'll notice which one feels easier for you to do. Is it easier for you to arch or is it easier for you to round? For someone like myself that has a little bit of a bigger lower back curve than normal, going to that arch is very easy for me because that's where I naturally sit. Okay, so we want to try to get both of those ranges here. And this is a really good movement pattern to do. Take little breaks from your seat at your desk or your couch or your bed, whatever it is that you're sitting in, and do a couple of these and you will free up so much space in the spine as well as the hips. Let's do a couple more there. Very good. Perfect. All right, good. Now go ahead and come back to neutral. So now that you're going to need your towel. So go ahead and roll on over. Grab your towel, and we are going to roll this up a little bit. So I'm going to fold it, and then I'm going to roll it how we've kind of been doing, where I'm going to roll it kind of like a long sausage, and then I'm going to smooth that out. Now this is going to be for my shoulder blades. So I'm going to go ahead and place that towel sort of on my mat so that when I lie back on it, my shoulder blades are lying on it. Now this is the key, which might be hard for a lot of you. I want your head to actually come to the floor. And what you'll see is I've got a little bit of an arch through my upper back. And I just want to take my arms out to the side. Okay, and I just want to think about rolling back and forth, just creating a little bit of compression there in those upper back muscles. Okay, it's just a little bit of a self-massage, just for a few seconds there. Depending on how thick your towel is, this might feel pretty good for some of you. All right, beautiful. Okay, now come back to center. I'd like you to take your arms up alongside your ears. Okay, now as I did that, now my rib cage is going to flare, so I'm creating some mobility there, and I'm also creating a nice arch to that upper back. Okay, this is going to help combat that slouching. Now what I want you to think about doing is coming up into almost like a little bit of a sit-up. So I'm going to push that low back in towards the floor, and I just want to lift a little bit up off the floor, not into a massive sit-up, just a little bit up. And then I want to allow myself to arch right back to that position. And I want now to let my rib cage flare. So I want to have that big arch through my back. Then I'm going to repeat that. Push that low back in towards the floor. Then I want to lift up a little bit. And I'm tucking my chin, so I'm not letting my head remain arched. I'm just letting my arms go. And then I'm arching right up over that towel again and arching through my ribs. Again, push the low back in towards the floor. Peel yourself up. Tuck the chin slightly. Try to maintain your arm bones alongside your ears. And then go ahead and come on back and then arch. Let's do two more. Push the low back and towards the floor. Allow yourself to round up. Good. And then go ahead and arch over. Let that rib cage flare. One more here. Low back into the floor. Curl and peel yourself up. And then go ahead and come back to that nice little arch. Beautiful. Okay. Go ahead and relax your arms down. Now we're going to need this towel. And we're going to fold it over into a little bit of a smaller fold. So now I'm just going to kind of fold it in half. And if your towel was a little bit longer than mine, you might have to fold it one or two more times. And this is going to be for the back of our neck. Now, for a lot of us, when we're sitting at computers or whatever it is, our head tends to push forward. Now, not only does it make the muscles in the back of the neck really, really tense and tight, but it also weakens them. And that's going to make your head push forward of the skeleton, which is going to cause issues all the way down your spine. So we're going to strengthen the musculature in the back of the neck. So I'm going to go ahead and lie back so that that fold is sitting in the arch of the neck. So I'm going to go ahead and go lie back. I may have to adjust. Good. Okay. And then now I've got my towel sitting in the curvature of my neck. Okay, so we're going to start with a chin tuck. So when you do this, you're going to look like you have a double chin. So I'm going to push my head back into the floor, and then I want to take one of my fingers and tuck my chin towards my chest. Okay. Now, keeping my chin to my chest, I want to take the back of the head and I want to lift it up off of the towel. And then I want to go ahead and peel the chin up off the chest as I come back down. Okay, really simple. For some of you, this might feel really challenging. Okay, we're trying to strengthen the muscles in the back of the neck. So I push the head into the floor, I tuck the chin into the chest, and then I peel the back of the head off, keeping the chin tucked. And then I come on back and release. It probably sounds really funny when I'm doing this. Again, push the back of the head into the floor, tuck the chin to the chest, peel the back of the head off, keeping that chin to the chest, that's the key. Go ahead and release. 2 more here. Push the head back, tuck the chin to the chest. Go ahead and peel off. So the head should actually be lifting. Go ahead and relax down. Last one here. Push the head back, tuck the chin to the chest. Go ahead and lift off. Good. And relax. Great job. Okay, go ahead and get rid of your towel. We're going to make our way to hands and knees now. So whatever you have to do to roll on over, go ahead and do so. And we're going to prop ourselves up into hands and knees. So make sure that when you come to hands and knees, you want to make sure that your elbows are underneath your shoulders. You're taking your hands, you're just turning them out a little bit so that from our upper arm bones, we can work to spin those inner biceps forward. So go ahead and prop up into hands and knees. We're going to do my favorite technique for lower back or any type of spinal pain. We're going to do some rocking. So I'm going to go ahead and set my hands up. Okay. I'm going to put my shoulders roughly over my elbows. I'm going to put my knees under my hips. I'm going to work to spin my upper arm bones forward. Toes can be curled or uncurled, whatever feels better. And then trying to maintain length in the sides of my waist, I want to start to push my hips back towards my heels. And as I push my hips back to my heels, I want to hang out there for a moment. Then I want to think about pulling my mat towards me as I shift back forward to the front of my mat. Okay? I'm going to keep that going. So I'm going to shift back towards my heels. And then let my chest come on forward. Now I want to add my breathing. So I want to inhale through my nose as I shift back. Exhale through my nose as I shift forward. Inhale through my nose as I shift back. Exhale through my nose as I shift forward. Now I want to take my knees and I want to take them a little further back. So they're not sitting directly underneath my hips now. Now my stance is going to be a little bit longer. And then I want to try the same thing. I want to shift back. Now the key here is to feel like you're trying to maintain that little arch through that low back. And then I'm letting my chest come on forward. But I'm not dipping through my low back. I see this a lot. I want to keep the belly up. So again, I want to go ahead and shift on back. And I want to shift on forward. Now let's go ahead and add the breathing. Inhale, go ahead and shift back. Out breath, shift forward. Maybe you want to experiment with having your toes uncurled. See if that changes anything for you. Inhale, shift back. Out breath, shift forward. 2 more here. Inhale, shift back. Out breath, shift forward. Let your neck be long. Try not to let it arch. Let it be in the same rhythm as the upper back. Inhale, shift back. Out breath, shift forward. All right, now go ahead, break from here. Bring your big toes together. Separate your knees. And just allow your hips to come back towards your heels. Now we're going to work here to create some tension in our upper back muscles. The key to alleviating neck tension doesn't only stem from stretching the neck, it comes from putting tension and blood flow into the upper back muscles. So we're going to take a child's pose position. So you're going to bring your hands quite wide, maybe mat distance apart roughly. I'm going to walk my arms nice and forward, okay, until they're straight. But I want to really press into my palms to rebound my elbows, and then I want to drop my forehead down. Now, as you're here, I want you to think about pushing your mat forward as you press your hips back. So we're just allowing that pelvis to move in a different direction to alleviate that low back. And I want you to take 2 breaths here. In through the nose. Out through the nose. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Okay, now you're going to take your left arm and you're going to make it almost into like a pillow type shape. So I'm going to take that left arm and I'm going to change it so I can rest my forehead on that back of my hand. And I'm going to create some tension through the right side. So what I'm going to do with my right arm is I'm actually going to prop up onto the pinky finger. If you're getting a little bit of compression in the neck, bring your hand a little wider, and I'm going to let my forehead come to the back of my left hand. Now, what I want to do with this right arm is I want to reach my fingertips forward. That's going to pull my shoulder blade up. Then from my upper back, I want to go ahead and lift my pinky finger up off the floor as high as I can without bending my elbow or without feeling pain. Okay? And I want to feel the muscles in my upper back work. I want to hold there. Then I want to drop that pinky finger down. I want to reach forward and I want to lift and hold. Drop down. Reach forward, lift, hold. Drop down. 2 more. Reach forward, lift, hold. Drop down. Last one. Reach forward, lift, hold. Drop down. Great. And then I'm going to switch sides. So I'm going to take my right arm back to that pillow shape. My left arm overhead. I'm going to go a little bit wider for myself because that's just where my arms tend to sit. I'm going to relax my forehead down. I'm going to pop up on that pinky finger. And here I go. I'm going to reach forward. I'm going to lift. I'm going to hold. I'm going to try to find those upper back muscles. Alleviate tension on the neck. Drop down. Again, reach forward. Lift. Hold. Drop down. Reach forward. Lift. Hold. Drop down. Reach forward. Lift. Hold. Drop down. 1 more. Reach forward. Lift. Hold. Drop down. Awesome. Let's do 1 more set of that. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Right arm. Left arm rests. Here I go. Reach forward. Lift. Hold. Drop. 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 Reach forward, lift, hold, drop. Awesome. Last side here. On the left, go ahead and switch. Reach forward, lift, hold, drop, reach, lift, drop, reach, lift, drop, reach, lift, drop, reach, lift, drop. Great. Okay, go ahead and prop yourself up. Now, options. You're going to go ahead and bring your legs together and sit your hips on your heels. Now, for some people, this might not be a comfortable position for the knees or the ankles. Go ahead and prop yourself up on a block, come to a seated position. Okay? All right, so we're going to combat slouching now. We're going to work that upper back mobility. We're going to free up tension and spinal compression. So what you're going to do, take your hands clasped behind the back of your head. Keep your elbows open. Now we're going to work to arch the upper back. Now the lower back is going to go with us, okay, where the pelvis is going to tip forward now. We're going to have a nice arch in the low back. But we want to really accentuate that arch of the upper back. So hands behind the back of my head, elbow open. I want to think of taking my chest and lifting it up to the ceiling and arching up and over. Now as I work to look up, now I want to take my elbows and I want to open them as much as I can for 3, 2, 1. Now to come back to neutral, I send my rib cage forward and down towards the belly button. Okay? Again, I'm going to arch up and over. Now I want to pull my elbows back behind my body to feel my upper back work as much as I can for 3, 2, 1, neutral, rib cage in and down. Again, I want to arch up and over, pull my elbows back for 3, 2, 1, rib cage in and down. 2 more here. I want to arch up and over. Really feel like you're working from the upper back to create that arch, elbows back for 3, 2, 1, ribs in and down. 1 more here. Arch up and over. Pull those elbows back. Open, open, open for 3, 2, and 1. Ribs in and down. Great. Okay, so we're going to make our way forward into a lunge. We're going to work to release the hips as well as the spine a little bit. So go ahead and make your way to a lunge position. So you're going to go ahead and step your right foot forward. Okay. You're going to curl your left toes under. Okay, if that's not accessible to you, you can uncurl the toes or it feels better for you guys. So now I'm going to work to release the hip muscles on the right. And I'm just going to show you from all different angles. So here I am in my lunge. Now, What's going to happen for a lot of us is we're trying to find the hip flexors in the front. My low back is going to be in this big arch position, which means my hip flexors are being yanked. So what I want to do is I want to take that left hip bone and I want to pull it up to my chest as I scoop my butt cheek underneath me. And I'll show you that from the side. Okay. So to get into the hip flexors in the front of the left, I need to scoop my butt underneath me. And as I scoop that butt underneath me, I'm going to feel the pull up in the front. And I want to bring my hands to my waist and I want to hold here and breathe. So I want to really work to scoop. And you can try curling the toes, uncurling them. I find that if I uncurl them, I can get a little bit more of a tilt of that pelvis. So I feel a little bit more in the front. But you guys feel free to play around with that. And I want you to hold here. Now, if you're starting to feel a pull in the front of that left leg, you found your hip flexors, okay? They're tight. They're telling you, ooh, I'm cranky, I'm cranky. This is going to alleviate sitting. Far too many times do I see people trying to overstretch their hip flexors by going deep into lunges and really cranking from that low back. It's not an effective way to hit the hip flexors. We want to change the shape of that pelvis, find the length through the lower back, and the pull up in the front. A couple more breaths here. Try to breathe in and out through the nose. Give the muscles a chance to relax and release. One more big breath. Great. Okay, now staying where you are in your lunge, I'm just going to switch back my direction. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my left fingertips, like a little tent, and I'm going to put those down on the floor, kind of wrist right under shoulder. Now I want to work to open up my upper spine. So I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to tap it towards that left hand. And I want to pull my chest forward and then I want to start to open up following that thumb. Then I'm going to come back and close. Pull my chest forward, open up, follow that thumb. Close that gate. Pull the chest forward, open, and follow that thumb with your gaze. Follow it as you come back down. Two more here. Pull the chest forward, open up, follow. Something happened, honey. Come back and close. Pull the chest forward, open. And go ahead and close. Now keep going.
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay, and then I'm going to come back up into that nice little lunge. Now I'm going to work to turn that spine and open a little bit up towards the right. So now I want to bring my palms together in front of me into this lunge. Now, with my right arm, I want to think about making my right arm a little bit longer than my left. So I'm going to reach a little bit forward now. So I'm taking that right shoulder blade and moving it away from the spine as I reach forward. Now I'm going to open up that gate and I'm going to follow that arm and look past it. So I'm taking my right rib cage and trying to turn it towards the thumb. And then I'm going to go ahead and close that again. Now my palms are level. So I'm going to reach, I'm going to open, and I'm going to follow. I'm going to come on back. I'm going to reach, I'm going to open. Come on back. Two more here. I'm going to reach and open. Come on back. Last one here. Reach and open. And come back together. Great job. Go ahead and step that right leg back. And now we're going to go ahead and do everything on the left side. So I'm going to step back forward into my lunge. Maybe I'll start with my toes curled just so I can get that pelvis. And again, I want to scoop the butt underneath me. So I want to take that right butt cheek and scoop it underneath me as I pull the pelvis up in the front. And I'm going to find those hip flexors on the right side. Really feel the stretch in the front. And again, you can experiment with toes uncurled or curled. What's going to just allow you to get a little bit more movement through the pelvis. What's going to allow you to feel a little bit of release in the front. And I'm going to hold here. I'm going to bring my hands to my waist, and I'm just going to encourage myself to stay here and breathe, giving my hip flexors a moment to let go. Scoop underneath, and I'm going to hold. Inhaling in and out through my nose. In and out through my nose. In and out through my nose. Good. Keep staying there. I'm just going to switch so you guys can see the rotation. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the tips of my right fingertips and I'm going to put them right underneath my shoulder. And I'm going to take that left hand and bring it right towards the right. And then I want to think, pulling my chest forward so I lengthen the spine. And then I'm going to rotate open from the upper back and follow. And go ahead and close. Pull the chest forward and follow. So we're decompressing the spine here. Go ahead and close. Pull the chest forward and open. Close. 2 more. Chest forward, open. Close. Chest forward, open. And close. Come on back up into your lunge. Bring your palms together. And now I want to make that left arm a little bit longer than the right by letting the shoulder blade move away from the spine. So I'm going to reach. I'm going to open. And this time I want to think about taking my left rib cage and wrapping around without using my hips. And go ahead and close. Reach, open, close. Reach, open, close. Reach, open, close. Last one. Reach, open, and close. Beautiful. All right, guys, we're going to proceed to lie on our bellies now. And we're going to do some movements to, again, combat the effects of slouching. And also we're going to work on decompressing the vertebrae in the front as well as the back of the spine. So go ahead and lie on your stomach. Okay. So this first one is a very small movement, but it's really effective and it should allow you to feel a lot happening through your upper back. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide where I like my legs. I like mine wide. It just feels better on my low back. And then I want to think of those hip bones and I want to push them down and towards the floor so I can fire up my glutes so I can support that low back. So really push those hip bones down. Now with my hands, I'm going to set them up like I was about to do a push-up. So I want to set them sort of maybe fingertips roughly under shoulders. And I want to turn my hands out a little bit so my elbows actually point straight back towards my feet. Now I'm going to drop my forehead down to start. Now one thing I want you to watch for is if your shoulders are rolling forward of your elbows. I actually want to take those shoulders and I want to roll them up, back, and down. And as I do that, I want to think about pulling my shoulder blades down towards my feet and locking them there in place. Now taking your forehead lifted a little bit up off the floor, push the hip bones down. Now think of that arch through that upper back. I want to pull my chest forward and up, just a tiny amount, very small. Now as I squeeze my shoulder blades together, I want to lift my hands off. Now as I lift my hands off, I want to keep my neck long, my hip bones into the floor. I want to squeeze the elbows into my sides and really work to fire up those upper back muscles. Then I'll drop my hands and I'll let my chest come back forward and down. Set my shoulders, roll them, chest forward and up, small arch, take the hands, peel them, squeeze, think of your shoulder blades coming together and down, elbows into the sides, drop the hands, chest forward and down. Again, set the shoulders, chest forward and up. Take the hands, lift them, squeeze them. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and down, together and down, together and down. Drop the hands, chest forward and down. 2 more here. Set the shoulders, pull the chest forward and up. Keep squeezing the bum. Hands, peel them. Hug the elbows, squeeze. Drop the hands, chest forward and down. 1 more here. Set the shoulders, chest forward and up. Hands, lift. Lift them off. Feel that work in the upper back as I hug the elbows in. Drop the hands, lower the chest. Great. All right. Take your arms out in front of you. So this little movement here is going to help relieve compression in the front of the spine and in the back of the spine. If you're someone who slouches, you're going to get a lot of compression in the front of the spine. If you're someone who arches a lot like myself, you're going to get a lot of compression in the back of the spine. So this movement is going to be for the best of both worlds. So I'm going to start in kind of like what you would commonly refer to as Sphinx pose in a yoga practice. Is I'm going to take my arms out in front of me with a slight little bend. Now I'm going to maintain my hip bones into the floor, but I want to think about finding that smooth arch through my upper back. So I'm going to pull my chest forward and up a little bit and drag my shoulder blades down my back. Now from here, I'm going to take one nasal breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. Okay, now here's the key. I'm going to walk one arm in at a time with my palms facing each other until my shoulders are over my elbows. And I've got like what I call dagger fingers, where my pinky fingers are on the floor, my fingertips are like knives. Now I'm going to curl my toes under. Now, what I want to think about doing is working from each individual portion of the spine. So first thing, I want to make sure my elbows are under my shoulders. Now, I'm going to push my shoulder blades to the ceiling so my upper back is full. I'm going to peel my rib cage up off the floor. Then I want to peel my hips up until my shoulders and my bum are in one straight line. And I want to look back towards the space in between my knees. And I want to hold there. And I want to think about creating a dome with my spine. So push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, lift the front rib cage up, scoop the butt a little bit underneath you, and then look towards the knees. Now I want to reverse this order. I want to uncurl the toes. I want to drop my thighs and my hip bones. I want to drop my rib cage as I pull my chest forward, and then I want to walk my arms back out in front of me. Okay, we're going to do a few of these if that didn't make sense. It's almost like a little spinal wave. So right back into my little starting position with my Sphinx, push my hip bones into the floor, lift my chest, neck remains long, so I'm not looking too far up or too far forward. I'm almost looking a little bit down. Take one nasal breath. Good. Now I'm going to walk my arms in. I want to make sure that my elbows are right under the shoulders, or I'm going to have a hard time lifting myself. Then I want to curl my toes. Push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, lift the rib cage, lift the low belly, look in between the spaces between the knees, work to push the shoulder blades to the ceiling more, lift the front rib cage, scoop the butt, hold, uncurl the toes, drop the thigh bones, drop the hip bones, drop the rib cage, walk your arms out in front of you. Okay, very good. All right, let's try that 2 more times. Lift the chest, take a breath. Now maybe you want to walk in the other arm first. So I'm going to walk in my left instead of my right. Okay. I'm going to come back, shoulders over elbows. I'm going to curl my toes, push the shoulder blades to the ceiling, peel the rib cage, peel the low belly, look in between the space between my legs, push the shoulder blades to the ceiling more, scoop that butt, hold, uncurl the toes, drop the thighs, the hip creases, the rib cage. I'm going to walk my left arm out. Last time here, lift up the chest, push the hip bones into the floor, one nasal breath. Good. Left arm in, a little bit of a spinal wave here. Right arm in. Good. Shoulders over elbows, curl the toes, push the shoulder blades to the sky, peel the ribs, peel the belly, look in between the space between the knees, really push the shoulder blades to the sky as you scoop underneath. Hold, 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 hold. And then uncurl the toes, drop the thighs, the hip bones, the rib cage, and then walk your arms out in front of you. Good. Just finish with one nasal breath here as you lift the chest. Those feel oh so good. Relieving spinal compression. One big breath. Good. All right. Beautiful. Okay, guys, so let's work towards our last little bit here. So go ahead and prop yourself up. Okay, so we're going to proceed to come back down onto our backs. Again, just relieving a little bit of compression here. So I'm going to have you take one of your blocks, maybe even your pillow. It depends on what feels good for your back of your head. So go ahead and come down onto your back. All right. Now, once you get down there, we're going to work a little bit of a hip flexor release. So I'm going to go ahead and take my block. I'm going to lift my hips up, and I'm going to slide it right underneath sort of like the base of my tailbone. Okay. Now, I don't want to have my block too high, because if my butt's hanging over the edge or I've got a big arch, my block is way too high up. Okay. If your block, for whatever reason, is too high, Go ahead and put your blanket underneath or a pillow. But if you want to have nothing behind the lower back, that's absolutely fine too. Now, trick here, drop your rib cage down. Drop your hip bones down. Let go of that arch that's in the spine. Now, what I want you to do with your right leg is I want you to pull that leg up without using your hands. Okay? No hands here. I want you to take your left foot and I want you to slide it out just before your foot starts to pick up off the floor. So take it out as far as you can. That's going to allow you to keep that left big toe on the ground. Now I'm still dropping my rib cage. Now maybe I'll take my right hand and grab my right knee and pull that leg in a little bit. So my left foot is not completely straight. It's still on the floor. I'm pulling that leg in as I drop my rib cage down. And I'm holding here for a breath. Good. Again, hip flexors and hip muscles, you don't want to force them to release. You need to give them time. Okay. Allow that breath to just move in and out of the nose. You can close your eyes if that feels good to you. Good. And then slowly just walk your left foot back up to where it was. Go ahead and put that right foot back on the ground. Go ahead and try the other side. So left leg, pull it up without using the hands. Drop the rib cage. Slide your right foot out as far as it will go without letting the foot or the big toe actually come up off the floor. And as I relax that rib cage down, maybe I'll grab the knee with my hand and I'll just kind of pull that in and just let those hip bones settle as I let my rib cage settle. And I'll hold here. And then I'll go ahead and slide that right leg back up. I'll put that left foot back on the floor. And I'm just going to hang out here in this position. So I want to really think that my butt is almost scooping a little bit underneath me. I'm dropping my rib cage down. Now I want to take my right arm and I want to reach it overhead. And maybe the tip of the thumb will hit the floor. If you have issues with an overhead position, you can take your arm out to the side like a letter T, whatever feels good for you. Now I want to take that right leg and I want to slide that leg out straight. So we're going to work a little bit of traction through the shoulder and the hip and also releasing the front body. So I'm going to reach through those right fingertips, reach that right heel. I want to feel the right side of the rib cage elevate. So we're going to get some mobility through there so our diaphragm works more effectively. And I'm going to take 2 breaths. Good. I'm going to go ahead and put all that work back. Same thing left side. I'm going to reach the arm overhead or out to the side where it feels good. Slide that left leg out straight. Feel that left rib cage elevate some, but still relax my belly down. Hold for 2 breaths. Good. And go ahead and put that back. Lift my hips up, slide the block underneath me, lower down to the back, the pelvis hits the floor. Take a moment there to let your spine neutralize. We're going to finish up in a seated position, so just let that spine relax. Good. And then go ahead and make your way to seated just as we come to our closing section for relief for desk workers. So I'm just going to face sideways so you guys can see what I'm doing. Again, you can prop yourself up on a block or anything that feels good to you, or you can sit without. So we're just going to finish with some chin tucks, just again to get into all the muscles that begin at the base of the skull and work all the way down. So I'm going to take my right thumb and I'm going to place it in the center of my chin. I want to try to have my shoulders, my rib cage, and my hip bones all stacked on top of one another. So no overarching, no slouching. Try to have everything on top of one another. Now all I'm going to do with that thumb is I'm going to push my head back. Now I'm going to take my chin and peel it down and glue it to my chest. Then I'm going to carefully come back up. Okay, I'm going to push back, tuck the chin, come on up. Now I'm going to use my breath. Inhale, push back, exhale. Come on up. Inhale, push back, exhale. Come on up, 2 more here. Inhale, push back, exhale. Come on up, 1 more. Inhale, push back, exhale. And come on up and release. Maybe you want to take a little shoulder shake there, whatever feels good for you. All right, that's where we'll finish for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining in today for our relief for desk workers. I definitely encourage you to try some of those breathing exercises. Take a little 2 to 3 minute breathing break throughout your work day. Take a break from screens, give your eyes a break, give them a chance to recover. Practice that vestibular system pressure, will help with headaches that can come, fatigue that can come from sitting for long periods and eye strain. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a great Sunday. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me at jen@freeruninc.com. Jen, I always say with 2 N's because that's what it is, 2 N's. All right, other than that, guys, have a great Sunday. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you guys next time.